lost him during a thunderstorm. The backyard gate swung open and their dog was gone. For weeks, they searched. They put up posters everywhere. They called different shelters. Nothing. Then one afternoon, they're driving home. The daughter sees something. Mom, that's Milo. Same golden fur, same curled tail, except a new collar. They pull over and they walk up to the door. Milo! His name's actually Charlie. He's cute though, huh? Feel free to pet him. Mom, do something. Where did you find him? Oh, we picked him up from the shelter. He was soaking wet, it was raining. We took him home. That's our dog. He was chipped. He wasn't chipped, and that's our dog. The girl kneels down. Milo, come here. See? He knows his name. Charlie, come here. But Milo didn't come. He was so happy to see his real owners. Quick, get Milo in the car. We're leaving now. Hey, wait. And they took the dog and they sped away. Honestly, I would have done the same thing. That's my freaking dog. That dude was seriously trying to keep him. That's messed up. Every night, and I mean every night, this guy locks his car twice before bed. Once before brushing his teeth. He'll be outside, you know. And once right after. Like clockwork, he checks the handle, hears the beep, and then he walks back inside. And every night his wife goes, "You've already locked it, you don't need to do it again." And it drives her insane. But he's worried that it doesn't lock good enough. He wants to make sure that his car is locked. But one night, he finally gave in. All right, I locked my car before I brushed my teeth. Pretty sure it beeped. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it beeped. It's fine, it beeped. You can come to bed. So for the first time ever, he goes to bed after brushing his teeth, and he doesn't check the car twice. The next morning, he wakes up to the smell of coffee. She's brewing a pot of coffee. He stands up, looks out the window, and he sees his driver door wide open. Oh God. He walks outside, slowly. There was no broken glass anywhere, but the door was open, which meant the car didn't lock last night. He looks inside the car, the glove box is open, a bunch of stuff is stolen. For some reason, he had his wallet in the car. His wallet gone. I cannot believe you. I listened to you last night, and my car was broken into. That night, he locked his car twice. And from that night on, she never said a thing about the second lock ever again. This 8th grader finally made the basketball team. Holy crap, I made it! He had tried out the year before, but he didn't make it then, so he was proud that he made it this year. Well, that same week, there was this other kid who made it the year before, but this year, he didn't make it, and he was salty. He cornered him in the hallway. Bro, yo, what? You're trash. I should be on the team instead of you. Oh yeah? Well, if you're better than me, why didn't you make it this year? The kid stutters. He's trying to find something to say. Dude, it's just because of my grades, man. That's it. For some reason, he thinks that helps his case. But then this kid just goes, "Oh, so you're just really stupid then, huh?" He freezes, and he realizes he only has two options. He can admit that he's bad at basketball, or he can admit that he's just stupid. He picks neither. He just turns around, and he walks away. And that was the cleanest two-line takedown that school ever saw. At one high school, somebody pulled off a crazy prank. And listen up, it was unhinged. So the school sat right between a grocery store and a pet store. So these three kids got an idea. They bought a loaf of bread, a bag of sugar, and 100 crickets. Boys, we are about to be legends. They soaked the bread in sugar water, climbed onto a desk in a classroom, and they shoved the sticky loaf of bread into one of the ceiling tiles. Okay, lift up the tile, there goes the bread, and then they undid the cricket container, and they launched all 100 crickets into the ceiling as well. Here's the thing, crickets love sugar and warmth and dark places. They were breeding like wildfire. Almost immediately, the cricket buzzing started, and each day it got louder and louder. Yo, this is crazy. I can't even hear myself think. Every hallway, every classroom, it's coming through the vents. Crickets were escaping, and they're finding them all over school. Teachers couldn't teach, kids couldn't focus. The custodians are working so hard to try to control the situation somehow. The school had to eventually call an extermination team, and the school was then shut down for 4 days. They eventually found out the kids that did this, and those kids were suspended. And that still to this day has gone down as the craziest thing that has ever happened in the history of that one high school. This is messy. In middle school, one day, somebody brought in donuts. Free food, right? Well, there were a lot of donuts, and half the school grabbed one. Hey, donuts, nice! Except they weren't just donuts. They were laced with laxatives. And an hour and a half later, it was total chaos. Kids crying, people sprinting to the bathroom, teachers looking for buckets because yes, it was that bad. Then the principal's voice is heard over the intercom.
Attention, students! Nobody leaves the classrooms. We have an investigation.
The school went into lockdown. The police showed up, and the nurse's office looked like a frickin' war zone. When everything was figured out and they found the person that did this, believe it or not, he was simply suspended for a few days. Which is crazy because technically that could be categorized as a poisoning. But still, middle school, man. This stuff just happens, right? It happened during lunch. A kid in a black hoodie walked to the center of the cafeteria. He unzips his giant duffel bag, pulls out a gallon of milk, and dumps it right there on the floor. Then he heads to a different part of the cafeteria, pulls out another gallon of milk, and dumps that on the floor. He's just dumping milk all around the lunchroom. Pretty soon it's total chaos, and a kid slips and sprains his wrist. Then the janitor runs in and points at a kid. It was him, right there. What? He was pointing at Owen, this quiet kid that never did anything wrong. He just happened to be wearing a very similar black hoodie, but he was just sitting there eating his lunch. It wasn't him, but they pulled him out of the cafeteria. He went to the office, he had to call home. They told him he was facing a 10-day suspension and a possible disciplinary hearing in front of the school board. And other students tried to help. It wasn't him. Owen wouldn't do that. He was just eating his lunch. This is not fair. But the janitor said he was sure. Black hoodie, same build, it was him. I'm positive. It took 3 days for the school to finally pull the security footage. And it wasn't Owen. They saw the real kid do this and run out the side door. And in the footage, there was Owen, sitting there, eating his lunch, peacefully. And the school dropped everything. No hearing, no suspension, they apologized, but Owen never forgot what he went through. And he hates that school to this day. Yeah, I would too. Line up and open wide. At one friend's house, there was a bedtime ritual. Before anyone was allowed to go to sleep, even during sleepovers, his mom would line up every single kid in the hallway. She would walk down the line and one by one, open your mouth. Then she would lean in and sniff their breath. Peppermint. Good. The next kid, open your mouth. Smells like mayonnaise. Wash your mouth. And she made that kid go and brush his teeth. It didn't matter if you promised you already brushed. No, I swear I brushed my teeth. Your mouth smells like mayonnaise. You know, kids would mutter, well, this is super weird and kind of creepy. But she would snap back. Excuse me? Clean teeth aren't weird or creepy. Yes, ma'am, forgive me. And that was the ritual. Every single night without fail, even during sleepovers. One of my videos changed this kid's life? I don't know about all that, but it actually inspired him, he said. So he watched one of my stories about one of these businesses that kids ran in their school. And that's when it hit him. You know what? I could run a hustle too. And he did. He started small with gum and stickers. That week he made $90. His next move, he sold Venom energy drinks. And in just 2 weeks, he made $200. And these wins just kept building his confidence. After that, he had decided he was gonna step up a lot. He was gonna make his own website and sell his own streetwear clothing brand. He called it Hype District, and he actually has a website. If you want to check it out, just Google Hype District Canva, and you can see it for yourself. And my friends, this is what happens when you respect the hustle. Yo, this sounds crazy. At this one school, dropping your pencil was considered a disciplinary offense. Like say a kid's pencil rolled off his desk innocently. Was that on purpose? Do it again and you're getting written up. No, what? No, seriously. This news article I read said this. Kids are using pencils to distract the class. Or they're signaling answers during tests by dropping their pencils in like some sort of code. Meanwhile, half the desks in the school had uneven legs and the desks were wobbly and pencils would fall. One kid got pulled aside because he dropped his pencil twice in 1 week. Hi, yeah, this is becoming a pattern. If you drop your pencil one more time, I know what you're doing. You're gonna regret it. I hate my life. And honestly, I guess it wasn't even just at that school. Some of the comments on the articles were saying that it was happening at their school as well. So tell me, does this sound right?